Frontline, released in 1983 by Atari, is a classic arcade-style game that stands out as one of the more unique offerings for the Atari 2600. As a military-themed shooter, it presents players with a top-down perspective of combat, where you control a soldier tasked with advancing through enemy lines to defeat forces and rescue hostages. The game is an early example of a shooter that tries to blend action and strategy, offering a challenging and immersive experience for its time. The gameplay in Frontline is straightforward, yet engaging. You control a soldier on foot, equipped with a machine gun, and your objective is to clear various enemy positions while avoiding obstacles and enemy fire. Along the way, you can jump into a jeep, which provides a more mobile form of combat, allowing you to mow down enemies with greater speed and ease. What really sets Frontline apart is its mixture of on-foot and vehicle-based gameplay. The transition between controlling a soldier and a jeep introduces variety, making each level feel fresh. The jeep is more powerful and faster, but it comes with its own set of challenges, such as limited mobility in tight spots. This adds an interesting layer of strategy, as players need to choose the best mode of travel depending on the situation. For an Atari 2600 title, Frontline features impressive visuals. The game uses the limited graphical power of the console well, with detailed enemy soldiers, tanks, and a variety of terrain features. While the graphics aren't sophisticated by modern standards, the use of simple, effective designs makes it easy to tell what's happening on screen. The sound is minimal but functional. It features a few basic sound effects for shooting, explosions, and vehicle movement. While the audio isn't particularly groundbreaking, it complements the action without distracting from it. Frontline offers a good level of difficulty, striking a balance between being challenging without being frustrating. The enemies are relentless, and as you progress through the levels, the game's pace picks up, keeping players on their toes. The difficulty ramps up in a way that encourages skill development, making each successful level completion feel rewarding. In terms of replayability, Frontline offers a fair amount of it. The game's combination of soldier and jeep gameplay, different enemy types, and varied terrain provide enough variety to keep players coming back. The goal of improving your score and progressing through the levels also adds incentive for repeat play. Overall, Frontline for the Atari 2600 is a solid arcade-style shooter that delivers a fun, challenging experience with its unique mix of on-foot and vehicle combat. While the graphics and sound are relatively basic by today's standards, they were more than enough for the time. The game's engaging gameplay and reasonable difficulty curve make it a standout title in the Atari 2600 library. If you're a fan of classic arcade shooters or looking to experience a military action game from the early 80s, Frontline is definitely worth checking out. It's not the most sophisticated game ever made, but it certainly stands out as one of the more enjoyable and memorable titles of the era.